I don't know if there's anything they could announce at a Disney Star Wars celebration that would really excite me at this point, just being honest. But there wasn't really much to announce, period, for Disney Star Wars at this celebration. Maybe they've learned their lesson because they've announced so many goddamn things that never actually happen. But the big talk of the town, Disney Star Wars Celebration, was the movie title for a movie that had already been announced, and we already knew who was directing it and who was starring in it. We knew Ryan Gosling was going to be in it. We knew Sean Levy was directing, and they finally gave us the reveal and the release date. Ryan Gosling's Star Wars movie Starfighter announced at Star Wars Celebration with Sean Levy directing. It's not like this was a new announcement. This was something we all knew about. We did officially get the title and the release date. But other than that, I think the only thing... Sure, another thing of Star Wars Visions. I'm sure the people that are watching that may be excited. A new Darth Maul animated series, because we haven't seen enough of Darth fucking Maul. My God, how much can we milk this stupid fucking character? Darth Maul was fucking awesome. He should have stayed dead. That's always been my opinion. And then once you brought him back, stop putting him in every fucking thing you can jam him into. But they continue to do so. Another animated Darth Maul adaptation from Dave Filoni, the mind of Dave Filoni, who can only use the same 10 characters over and over and over again. But other than that, what was there? There was no mention of anything related to the sequel trilogy, despite this being the 10-year anniversary of The Force Awakens releasing. No word on the Rey movie other than, a brief aside from Kathleen Kennedy basically saying, it's still in development. We're still working on it. That's it. To me, look, I hope that the people that still love Disney Star Wars for some reason, I hope they had a great time in Japan, going all the way over there, spending all that money to go to Disney Star Wars Celebration. You had Manny Jacinto have a little appearance. You had them tell us a little bit of an update about Ahsoka season 2, which we already knew was happening. There was no big announcements from this at all. And probably rightly so. Because what could they announce? What should they be announcing right now that anyone would, one, have any faith that it would come out, or two, actually be excited for?
I don't know how this new StreamYards work. So Kathleen Kennedy was out there. There she is, everybody, if you didn't know what she looked like. She was out there on day one, and they live streamed the event. And she did an interview. She thanked fans. She talked about the Mando and Baby Yoda film. She didn't call Grogu. She called it Baby Yoda several times. And then she went off the stage. And as soon as day one was finished, so this is the click. So you could click on here, and it's supposed to take you to day one of Star Wars Celebration. Well, they privated the video, which I see some of the past Celebration live streams when they started doing that are still up. They privated the video, and they cut out clips from day one and just uploaded them as videos, but no Kathleen Kennedy ever.
They probably didn't want to get fucking ratioed.
So she was removed, she wasn't even there, and they privated. So this is the Star Wars account. As you can see, these were clips from day one. Hayden was the first one to come out. Kennedy was the third. She's not on here. And then that's that. And then the live stream, they only have day two up. I don't know. I didn't think I saw Kathleen Kennedy's speech. I had it up in the background.
It's available. There's other people that were streaming it and stuff that you can actually go still see it. I don't know if there was much of note that she talked about, other than saying, these couple movies are still in development and everything.
It wasn't
and talking
anything.
A little bit about Mando Grogu. There was really nothing there was nothing where it's oh wow, they really didn't want that being said.
There was nothing.
Nothing like that.
She just came out and she was like, "Hey, thanks for being here." Star Wars Celebration is normally 4 days. It was only 3 days in Japan. And then they announced that it won't return for another 2 years to Los Angeles here in America. Now, the funny thing is, I
also saw a lot of people, it's going to be 2 years. That's a pretty normal thing for Star Wars Celebration. Normal. Just want to be honest. A lot of people are oh, wow, they're skipping it. It's kind of normal for there to be a couple years in between some of them. It was 2 years since we had the last one. So I don't think that's very abnormal, personally.
No, I don't think that's either. The funny thing is, if you go on the official Star Wars Twitter account where they made the announcement that it's going to be in LA, there's a lot of freaks on there like, I don't think I could come to America. I don't feel safe. As a trans person, I can't travel to America until they get rid of the person in charge. And it's like, we're not going to be safe in America. Please rethink this and move it to Canada. There's like all these people crying about not wanting to come to, and I'm like, of all places, LA's probably the safest place you'll be if that's where you're thinking you want to find some safety for what you are. Just saying.
Yeah. And
So,
I think that, look, I wish that I had interest in going to a Star Wars celebration. 20 years ago, I would have fucking done anything to try to go to one if I had the opportunity. Right now, it's like I just have I would just go around and be up like angry and not enjoying anything that's there. I just wouldn't see any real reason to, unfortunately, at this point in time. But 50th anniversary in LA, I actually think it makes a lot of sense. So
have you ever been to any? I went to the one in Orlando for one day. I just went to, and that was a long time ago. And I just went to one day. I didn't even go to any panels. I just kind of walked around and looked at the toys.
I didn't really ever have an opportunity to go, to be honest with you, because by the time I was old enough to be able to like do that and go to one of those, I joined the military and really was not available to do any of that. Did you know what I mean? So I never had an opportunity to.
I will say this: before Disney bought Star Wars, they used to do in a park that's now called Hollywood Studios. It used to be called MGM Studios. In one of the Disney park, they used to do Star Wars weekends, which I thought were a lot. I thought they were amazing, and they had all the act. That's where I met Mark Hamill and a few others. They brought out all the actors. They did a parade. You know, I met Jake Lloyd there, and they had like cosplaying contests, and it was a pretty fun weekend there at MGM Studios. That was before Galaxy's Edge was built, all that stuff. So they would bring out all the stars and everything, have special movie presentations, things like that in the park. It was something really cool. And then Disney bought it, and you were like, oh, what cool, we're gonna get this more often, and we didn't get anything. So
Bro, I was excited as hell when Disney bought Star Wars, not gonna lie.
Of course.
I was excited as hell because I was pretty sure George had no interest in like actually making sequels. And I thought I was going to get to see so many of these stories that I had dedicated, you know, years of my life to reading. I thought we were going to get some form of those, you know, brought into live action. And I thought it'd be fucking awesome. Obviously that wasn't the case. And now as we continue to see, they continue to pick and try to like fucking vultures. We get more info about Mandu and Grogu and Ahsoka. It's like Admiral Akbar is going to face off with Thrawn. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You know, that was a big deal in the original Thrawn trilogy. It was a big deal because those were the two heads of those militaries at the time, Thrawn and Akbar. And Akbar was this, you know, military genius who had helped the rebellion defeat the Empire and all this stuff. And he had no answers for Thrawn, right? So it was interesting and cool. One, Admiral Akbar has been fucking disrespected and fucking around and fucking off, whatever. Who fucking cares about Admiral Akbar in this new current iteration of canon? He's been disrespected. He doesn't fucking matter. And also, Thrawn's a retard. Thrawn's fucking retarded in what we have seen of him, not only in fucking the Ahsoka series, but also in Rebels. He's been turned into a retard Scooby-Doo villain. And he, they were talking about it. And Favreau's like, you know, the thing with a character like Thrawn is you have to write him really smart. It's like, Jesus. And I feel like what we've seen from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're not capable of writing a character like Thrawn, which is why he seems so fucking stupid, because he has been. And you can only write a character as smart as you are. And I don't think they can handle it, personally.
They killed Akbar off screen in The Last Jedi. And then they made fun of him on the set, apparently. You remember those stories that came out? Like the guy that was behind the mask was like crying because Rian Johnson wanted to bring him out for him to say, it's a wrap. Why they ended the film. And he felt like, oh, the character is so disrespected by Rian Johnson. And then you had all the Disney Star Wars. Who gives a crap about Admiral Akbar? Who cares about that? That's just old white guys upset. I think I did a video on that. That's why I'm like reliving a memory. So anyway.
Just got sucked out into the void. And he didn't get
Princess
a Mary Poppins
Leia
sequence.
turned into Mary Poppins. God, what a stupid movie. Oh.
Hey, in 2027, it's going to be the 10th anniversary of The Last Jedi.
Hey, maybe they'll re-release it in the theaters to see if people will show up to watch.
Maybe. It's like there's a couple things we talked about this on Friday. I love the fact that Hayden Christensen is like happy and that he feels like he's being embraced by fans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What they're using him for in Ahsoka is what they've always used. What they've always done to Ahsoka is they have done everything in their power to connect her to these people that you care about, to make you care about her. They try to put her over, how fucking important she is. The last season of Clone Wars that Dave Filoni did, linking it completely with the events of Revenge of the Sith to make you feel like, look at how important she is. Look at how important she is, even though we know she was never that important. And that's what Anakin's been used for. Instead of writing a fucking story about maybe Anakin Skywalker as a Force ghost connecting to his son, we're getting this entire storyline with Anakin and Ahsoka. And Luke continues to be the forgotten character in Star Wars somehow, some way. All in an effort to make Ahsoka Tano the most important character in the history of Star Wars. So Dave Filoni's goal has always been. Always.
I thought that was funny.
Hold on. I think there is an entire replay of Star Wars Celebration that they posted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they took down the live, but I think day one replay, 6.5 hour video up there on Star Wars.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I just don't like, I just didn't think, I know a lot of people were like, I mean, we can go through it and see if the Kathleen Kennedy stuff is missing or whatever. If the Kathleen Kennedy stuff is missing, then maybe we can be like, this is why they did it. But no, it's there. It's there. The Kathleen Kennedy stuff is there.
Okay.
So, they
probably just cut out all the scratchy moments.
To tell all the everybody always thinks there's something. Probably somebody from behind the scenes.
That's why I wasn't like
Lucasfilm. It's like it's there.
That's why I did find it weird. But if they put it up, then there you go.
So yes, she's there. That was my guess, because you had told me there was a ton of fucking technical issues with the live stream. So that makes a lot of sense to me, rather than them 10 minutes of like a big nothing burger from Kathleen Kennedy. They felt they need to hide that from everyone. So there you have it.